Coming up on Sports Paws, the women's soccer team had two MAC contests looking to stay perfect in conference play.
And the women's ice hockey team shipped up to Boston for a top 15 clash against the Northeastern Huskies.
Plus, the volleyball team had 3 in-conference matches, including 2 against in-state opponents.
All that and more coming up right now on Sports Paws.
Welcome back to Sports Paws, everybody. I'm Nick Boyd.
And I'm Christina Tsimenis. We'll start with women's soccer. The team played Ryder in New Jersey on Wednesday and won the game 1-0. Senior midfielder Aisling Spillane scored her first goal of the season in the first half of the game, and that was all the Bobcats needed for the win. It was the Bobcats' 6th straight shutout win.
So that's now 16 straight MAC games since 2022 without a loss for the Bobcats, including the playoffs. They tried to push that streak even further on Saturday against the Niagara Purple Eagles. Quinnipiac welcomed the Niagara Purple Eagles into town. Bobcats have been on a dominant run and they haven't given up a goal since August. First half, as you see the players getting ready for the game. First half, Courtney Chokel fires a pass through the defender's legs and hits Clara Bankston wide open in stride. Her first NCAA goal. It's 1-0 Quinnipiac. Later in the half, Niagara's Isabella Mazzaferro looking for a shot. Shakes Tally Lyon off her tail. Shot is knocked away by Sofia Lospinoso. She keeps the Purple Eagles scoreless. In the second, Molly Andrews dribbling into the box, splits the gap, finds the far corner, and on a few bounces for her first goal of the season. Quinnipiac doubles their lead. It's 2-0. Niagara with it again. It's Lospinoso with another denial. That would be it. Quinnipiac wins the game 2-0, pushing their shutout streak to 7. Lospinoso made 3 saves in the game and set a new program record with her 26th career shutout. After scoring her first career goal, it was announced today that Clara Bankston was named the MAC Rookie of the Week. The first-year midfielder from Sweden also recorded an assist in the win over Ryder. Bankston is the first Bobcat to win a Rookie of the Week honor this season. The last Bobcat to do it was forward Evelyn Key last season. Now, moving on to the women's ice hockey team, Christina.
They took on Northeastern for a 2-game set over the weekend. The Bobcats faced off in a top 15 matchup this weekend in Boston. In the first period, Northeastern rips a shot on net. It rebounds to Taze Thompson, who taps it into the wide open net for a Huskies goal, and it's 1-0 Northeastern.
And look at the celebration there for the Huskies. They get on the board first on the power play. How about one for the Bobcats, though? Emerson Jarvis takes the puck behind the net. Hulk smash! Tessa Hulk fires a close-range one-timer for her first Bobcats goal. Take another look. Jarvis gets a nice backhand pass, and Hulk finds a way to score through traffic. Just found an opening right between those two defenders. Quinnipiac ties it up at 1 goal apiece.
Later in the period, Eloise Caron snags the puck and heads down ice on a 2-on-1, beating the defender and Kaylee Doyle for the second Huskies goal of the period, and it's 2-1 Northeastern.
A little suplex celebration there at the end. We'll jump to the third period. Same score. Bobcats lose the puck again. Caron pounces on it. Looks wide open but finds Skylar Irving, who fires one past Doyle for another Northeastern goal. The Huskies have put Quinnipiac in a 3-1 hole with just 1 period of hockey to play.
With less than 5 minutes to play, Kendall Cooper rips one from the blue line, through a screen, and scores to make it a 1-goal game. What a shot from the captain. It's 3-2. Could Quinnipiac complete the comeback? Unfortunately, they could not. Northeastern tacked on another goal late and took the first game 4-2. 20 saves for Doyle, but the Bobcats suffer their first loss of the season.
They look to bounce back in Game 2 the very next day. The Bobcats struck first in the second period. Jenna Donahue takes a shot. It'll go off the boards and find Maya Labad, who goes 360 off the rebound and scores. Bobcats strike first in the second period on the Spinorama goal from Labad. Take another look.
That is not an easy shot to make, but she makes the tough shots look easy as the Bobcats go up by 1. She's already up to 4 goals on the season.
That is an insane goal total just 4 games into the season.
Later on, it's a puck battle at the blue line, and the Bobcats win it. Catherine Stockdale takes a shot. It gets blocked, but she gets her stick on the rebound and scores. It's a 2-goal lead for the Bobcats. Let's take one more look. The puck gets stuck behind Paige Taborski, and Stockdale just taps it right in. Maddie Samaskevich tacked on an empty netter, and the Bobcats win it 3-0. Doyle notches her third shutout of the season, and the Bobcats improved to 3-1 on the season. Earlier today, the USCHO women's ice hockey poll was released based on the team's performances in the first 2 weeks of the season. Quinnipiac was ranked at 10 with a 3-1-0 record, receiving 120 points in total. Wisconsin was ranked at number 1 with 19 first-place votes, while Minnesota was ranked second with the first-place vote. As for ECAC teams, Clarkson was ranked 5th, Cornell 6th, Colgate 7th, St. Lawrence 8th, and Princeton was 14th. Moving on to volleyball, the team played Merrimack on Wednesday. The Bobcats defeated the Warriors 3-0 in the MAC matchup, sweeping them in all sets. The Bobcats dominated the game, with Leilani Kaijusta having 11 kills and Damla Ganesh recording 29 assists.
After the win over Merrimack, the Bobcats made a visit to their in-state rivals, the Fairfield Stags, for a rematch of last year's MAC championship. Fairfield came out on top, sweeping the Bobcats 3-0 in straight sets, dropping Quinnipiac to 2-2 in MAC play. For the Bobcats, Elena Giacomini recorded 16 kills, while Damla Ganesh recorded 24 assists. But with a new day comes new opportunities. And so on Sunday, the Bobcats look to get back in the win column against another in-state opponent. The Quinnipiac volleyball team welcomed the Sacred Heart University Pioneers to Hamden in their second in-state matchup of the weekend. Jumping into the first set, very first play, Damla Ganesh serves an ace for the Bobcats' first point of the match. Bobcats getting off on the right foot early. She's pumped. It's 1-0. But just a few points later, Allison Murray swings over, but Carola Negron Diaz digs it back over. However, Gabby Zavko dumps it in for the Sacred Heart point. And Zavko does it not just once, but twice. She'll sneakily dump this one behind her back to an open spot. Sacred Heart takes the first set 25-20. On to the second, it's Milena Silva with a strong swing to give the Bobcats an early lead. Quinnipiac gets the ball back, and it's an ace from Leilani Kaijusta to give the Bobcats a 7-point lead. She went on a 5-point serving run. Damla Ganesh showing the crowd that she can dump too, closing the set with a quick two-handed dump. Quinnipiac wins set 2, 25-16. On to set 3. Damla Ganesh sets up Alexandra Tenen for a powerful kill on the opposite side to tie this set at 3. Later on in the set, it's Justa to Damla Ganesh. Back to Justa again with a big attack to go up by 2 on the set. Quinnipiac wins set 3, 25-20. On to the fourth. If you thought Justa was just an attacker, watch her come from the back row here and make that kill. Bobcats go up 2-0 in the fourth. And this might just be the Leilani Kaijusta show, because here she is again with a monster attack from the outside. Bobcats close it out. They win the final set 25-12 and the match 3-1. Yammer Ganesh and Leilani Kaijusta both led the Bobcats in kills with 12 apiece, and Damla Ganesh had 43 assists on the day. Bobcats will return home next weekend to take on the Manhattan Jaspers.
Sacred Heart played their first volleyball game against Quinnipiac in the MAC. Here's Q30's Miranda Patorti with the story.
When the Quinnipiac volleyball team won the MAC championship in 2022, there were only 10 teams involved. Now, with the addition of the Merrimack Warriors and the Sacred Heart Pioneers, the MAC is up to 12. The Sacred Heart Pioneers took the trip up to Hamden to face off against the Quinnipiac volleyball team for the first time since 2018.
Sacred Heart, we have history. Kim, their associate head coach, was a player at Sacred Heart before she was a coach there. She was a player in the league when I coached at LIU, and Rob was the head, was the only head there.
As head coach Kyle Robinson remarked, these two teams do have history. They first faced off on October 25th of the year 2000 and played each other 20 times. The first 6 of those matches went to the Quinnipiac Bobcats, and the last 14 went to the Sacred Heart Pioneers. The Bobcats looked to crush that losing streak at home in Hamden, which they did in 3 sets to 1. The players knew that this was not going to be an easy matchup. Despite never playing each other before, they knew they had to battle to win.
We knew they were a good team because they did a good game against Fairfield. The conference they were before, they were really good at that conference too. So we knew it was not a new team that were afraid of us. It was going to be a hard game, but we for sure we knew that we didn't play before, so it was going to be new for them. But we had to stay focused and concentrated.
We were excited to play them. We were excited to see how they played against us. I mean, they're definitely a much taller team than we are. So we were just like, it doesn't matter. We're maybe shorter, but we're more athletic. We can jump around. We can do lots of things.
At the end of the day, sports are about who wins and who loses, but sometimes there are things that are worth playing for more. Head coach Kyle Robinson certainly agrees.
Nostalgia to it that I'm more happy with than the win. We're going to compete and win against them. We're also going to compete and lose against them. And that's good for the sport and good for the conference.
The Bobcats will be back at home next weekend, Saturday and Sunday, as they face off against the Manhattan Jaspers and the Iona Gales. For Q30 Sports, I'm Miranda Patorti.
We've got to take a quick break, but when we come back on Sports Paws, hockey is back at the bank as the men's ice hockey team hosts the Northeastern for a preseason tune-up.
And the red-hot Quinnipiac rugby team took on Princeton, trying to stay undefeated on the year. We'll be right back on Sports Paws.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
I debate all day. It's what I do. But there are some things that are undebatable, like your mental health. I was in a dark place when my brother passed away in a car accident. I was depressed in ways I never imagined. I reached out, and my sisters came, my pastor, my therapist. They helped me get through it. I found that the more I spoke up, the healthier my mind became. When you love your mind, you can go so much further. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Welcome back to the show, and thanks for sticking with us. The women's rugby team has been off to a burning hot start, coming off a thumping of Penn State last week. They welcomed the Princeton Tigers into town. Quinnipiac takes on the Tigers at home for their 5th game of the season. It's also the NIRA opener for the Bobcats. First half, Bobcats already up 5-0. Off the scrum, Layla Cox breaks free from the Tigers and finds her way into the try-zone to double the Bobcats' lead. After the conversion, it is 12-0. 24th minute, Anna Van Dyke charges her way into the try-zone. That one, with its conversion, would give the Bobcats a 19-0 lead. Now we'll move ahead to the 30th minute. Elise Kaiser jumps in on the try-party. She marks herself on the score sheet and makes it 26-0 after the conversion. Now, Princeton would get their first try in the 40th minute, but just before the half, Fondla Niebronheim goes into the try-zone. Bobcats go into the break, leading 40-5. Second half action. In the 58th minute, 47-12 Bobcats, Lucy Lambourne finds her way into the try zone for her second of the day, extending the lead to 52-12. If you're doing the math at home, they're up by 40. Bobcats now up in the 73rd. Ava O'Malley gets her first of the year. Bobcats lead this one 62-19. That would be the final score, a new season high for the team. That would do it. Bobcats will be back in action on October 12th against the AIC Yellow Jackets. Irish players made up an important part of the Bobcats roster. Q30's Zach Stokinger has more.
Across the pond, there's a country with a rich history of rugby. That country is Ireland. And Ireland is well represented within the Quinnipiac women's rugby team. The Bobcats boast 4 players from the country of Ireland in their squad right now. And it's safe to say they fit in pretty well to head coach Becky Carlson's culture.
I'll tell you, they certainly have a presence from a game IQ standpoint, a spirit. We were missing Lily Morris big time today. Her voice is really important in the scrum. You noticed that we weren't all together in the scrum today, and it was a little bit disappointing. But I said it last week, if you study systems and you look at it, we're supposed to be able to take something out of the system, and it's supposed to operate as it should. And it wasn't operating that way today because we were missing personnel, and that's not an excuse. So our three Irish folk have been phenomenal for us this year. Fia's been running for us at 10, and she's been doing all the things we've asked her to do in terms of the kicking game and putting points on the board there. Ava's been flawless, and we miss Lily in the front row right now.
First year Ava O'Malley has led this Irish influx of talent, and it's safe to say that she's found a home in Hampden.
It's a sense of familiarity, I think, just to have girls that I've played with back at home and to bring them here. It's really nice to hear them on the field and the support from them, but then the support that I have from my teammates that I've just met here the past year, it's really nice. I think our whole team is really coming together.
While Ava starts her career here, she saw some familiar faces as her parents and her sister came to watch, and they can't be more prouder of what she's done so far.
I think a sense of familiarity, especially when you're away for the first time in another country, is difficult, but she has the girls there with Fola there as well that's been here a couple of years, and Lily and Fia. Certainly makes things easier, but look, what makes us proud really is her integration with the other teammates and other friends. Some of them are here today watching the game and stuff like that, and that makes us really, really happy that she's kind of branching outside of rugby as well and making good relationships and good friendships, which are really, really important.
Well, it's safe to say O'Malley and her fellow countrywoman have fitted nicely in Hampden. The Bobcats will be back in action next week as they take on the AIC Yellow Jackets. Reporting for Q30 Sports, I'm Zach Stokinger.
On Friday, Quinnipiac's field hockey team took on Georgetown in a Big East matchup. The Bobcats lost 4 straight games coming into this matchup, and they're looking for their first Big East win. Here you can see both teams are doing their pregame walkout to midfield for starting lineups. Let's get into the first quarter as Francisca Escoyes runs the ball towards the goal, then passes it to Cam Brower, who puts it past the Hoyas goalie to put the Bobcats in the lead just 2 minutes and 16 seconds into the game, and it is a 1-0 Quinnipiac. Fast forward to the third quarter, on a Hoyas penalty corner, the ball is passed to Riley Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald gets it right past Christina Torres to tie this game at 1 goal apiece. Heading into the fourth quarter, a penalty stroke comes up for Georgetown, but Christina Torres says no goal for you as she makes a save to keep this game tied.
What a play by Torres there.
This game is not over yet, headed into overtime as Elena Perez Alejandro takes this ball all the way down from midfield on her own, and she scores the game-winning goal to give the Hoyas the win and their first Big East win since 2021.
The Hoyas are elated there. First conference win in over 3 years. That's gotta feel good for the program.
Coming out of this game, the Bobcats are still 0-3 in the Big East, and this was their 5th straight loss. The Bobcats lost to Lehigh 2-1 in an out-of-conference game on Sunday, bringing their losing streak to 6 consecutive games. Lehigh scored the go-ahead goal on a penalty stroke in the third quarter. For the Bobcats, Francisca Escoyes scored the Bobcats' only goal of the game and her 10th of the season. She's now tied for 2nd in the Big East in goals. Quinnipiac currently falls last in the Big East, and they're the only team that has not won a conference game. Kicking it over to men's soccer, Q30's Jaden Sherwood has more on the Bobcats' performance this week.
Thanks, guys. The men's soccer team is coming off 2 big wins. Last week, the Bobcats played Farmingdale State and beat them 9-0, setting a program record for most goals in a game. Frederick Moen scored his first 2 goals. After a scoreless first half, the Bobcats defeated Sacred Heart 3-1. William Helm broke the tie with a game-sealing penalty kick in the second half, which is a big momentum shifter for them going into the MAC, which they are number 1 in right now. They lead the whole entire conference in points. On the other hand, they're having issues with foul trouble and goals allowed. On October 12th, the Bobcats will be back in action away against Ryder. I'm Jaden Sherwood. This is Q30 Sports.
A former Bobcat signed a new contract in the pros. Skylar Brindamore signed a one-year, two-way contract with the Carolina Hurricanes. He played ice hockey for Quinnipiac from 2019 to 2023 and was a part of the national championship winning team. The forward had 76 points in his 145-game career at Quinnipiac. Brindamore's father, Rod, has been the head coach of the Hurricanes since 2018. The men's ice hockey team was back in action with an exhibition game against the Northeastern Huskies. Q30's Zach Naffa has more on what he saw at the game.
Thanks, guys. The Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team hosted the Northeastern Huskies for an exhibition matchup here in Hamden. One of the key storylines was Christophe Tellier making his return to M&T Bank Arena, and he showed out for the Huskies, tallying 2 points with a goal and an assist. For the Bobcats, they had a couple of bright spots from their newcomers, including Chris Pelosi and Dylan Silverstein. Silverstein did not allow a goal as he played the entire third period between the pipes, and Chris Pelosi scored a goal during his first game action with the Bobcats. That's all I have here from M&T Bank Arena. Back to you guys at the desk.
The Quinnipiac men's ice hockey team had their latest USCHO poll released today. Denver remains in first with a whopping 43 first-place votes. Boston College back in second with 49 votes, with 6 first-place votes. No other team received first-place votes. Quinnipiac stays at 8, Wisconsin at 9.
We've got to take another break, but when we come back, we'll recap how the Bobcats did in the MAC Masters tennis tournament over the weekend.
And everyone's favorite time of the night is on deck. You know what it is, I know what it is. The top 5 plays of the week. It is going to be positively electric. Sports Paws. We'll be right back.
How much difference can one vote make? Since 2023, more than 60 U.S. elections have been tied or won by just one vote. So this fall, your friend could be the tiebreaker. And that could make all the difference. People are more likely to vote when encouraged by a friend. So use your power to decide this election. Make sure you're good to vote and encourage your friends to make a voting plan at VoteVoteVote.com.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused.
A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out that self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and your mental health.
Discover the resources that you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
You know you don't have to wear your PT gear anymore, right?
It's comfortable.
So how's civilian life treating you?
It's fine.
When I got out, I didn't want to admit that there was anything wrong because I felt like a failure. And then I realized, there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I started talking to someone. Maybe you are fine, but if you're not, it's okay.
Thank you.
If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those barbecues you plan in detail for your family? Or your daughter's first costume party? It was out of this world. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back to Sports Paws. Both men's and women's cross-country teams competed at the Paul Short Invitational over the weekend. Spencer Decker has the details.
Thanks, guys. The Quinnipiac men's and women's cross-country teams were back in action this weekend at the Paul Short Invitational, hosted by Lehigh University. First, on the men's side, a 34th out of 38 overall finish, but that's not that bad to look upon. A lot of first-years on the squad starting to figure things out. 5 first-years in the top 6 for the Bobcats. Michael Strain, the only non-first-year, a sophomore, going 260th overall. The top runner for the Bobcats, the first-year Alex Haldana, who continues to impress, a 72nd overall finish with a time of 26:06. Now on to the women's side, a 14th overall finish out of 42 teams, a very impressive run. Rachel St. Germain finishing 3rd for the Bobcats, but the top runner for Quinnipiac, Alessandra Zafina, 36th overall, a very good finish at the top, 20:52 her time, followed by Lauren Selkin just right behind her at 21:02. Now, both teams have a very big race coming up, the New England Championships, next weekend, October 12th. That's all I've got for Q30 Sports. I'm Spencer Decker. Back to you guys on the desk.
Both the men's and women's tennis teams competed in the MAC Masters tournament this weekend. On the men's side, Carlos Brown-Simo and Finn Burridge made it to the semifinal round before falling to Siena in the tiebreak. The women's duo of Caitlin Flower and first-year Willow Renton also dropped their semifinal match, losing to Siena 6-3. Both teams will continue their fall seasons at the ITA Regionals next week at Harvard.
The Hockey News released their rankings of the PWHL's 2025 draft class. ECAC players dominated the rankings, with 5 out of the top 10 being from the conference. Current Bobcat captain Kendall Cooper is projected to be picked 20th overall. Maddie Samaskevich and Maya Labad were also mentioned in the rankings, while Nicole Gosling and Haley Wynn of Clarkson University are notable ECAC players in the top 10 projections.
Former Quinnipiac basketball guard Cam Young signed a professional deal with Hapoel Haifa, BC of the Israeli Basketball Premier League. Young was a star in his days at Quinnipiac. He won the MAC Player of the Year in 2019. That year, he set the program record for single-season points with 728 and for points in a game when he scored 55 against Siena. Young has also played professionally in Italy, Ukraine, Russia, and he spent 2 years in the NBA G League. On Thursday, the MAC announced that the format of the men's and women's basketball tournament will be changed for the first time in the conference's 44-year history, instead of every team in the league participating in the tournament. It'll now only include the top 10 teams at the end of the regular season.
The change will go into effect this season. In years past, all 11 MAC teams made it to Atlantic City, but with the additions of Merrimack and Sacred Heart, MAC Commissioner Travis Telequati said that trimming the fields to 10 teams, quote, heightens the excitement of both the regular season and the tournament.
The Quinnipiac field hockey team had their team impact game this past weekend. Q30's Olivia Gruber had the heartwarming story.
Joining the Bobcats today from Wallingford, Connecticut, number 10, Avery Odom.
9-year-old Avery Hodum, who was diagnosed with Burkitt lymphoma, is a part of the Team Impact program. The Team Impact program pairs children with serious illnesses and disabilities with college athletic teams across the country to create lifelong bonds and lifelong outcomes. Head coach Nina Klein remarks on the program's impact. The team also wore Avery's last name and the number 10 on their back. Avery's parents had remarks on how the program has impacted their lives. Avery and the Bobcats will be traveling to Yukon to play the Huskies at 2 p.m. on Friday, October 11th. For Q30 Sports, this is Olivia Gruber.
Now, Christina, how about we heighten the excitement of the show because it's that time of the night?
You're right. The top 5 plays of the week are here.
Play 5 on the volleyball court. Alexandra Tennant gets up for a forceful block that gets the Pioneers ducking for cover. She denied that one with authority.
Play 4, it's field hockey versus Georgetown. There's a penalty stroke opportunity for Georgetown, but Christina Torres slams the door shut. Unfortunately, the Bobcats dropped the game 2-1.
Play 3, women's soccer, Niagara's Isabella Mazzaferro tries a shot, but Erlo Spinoso blocks it away. The Bobcats win it 2-0.
Play 2, onto the ice. Jenna Donahue's shot goes wide and off the boards, but Maya Labad gets to it and goes 360 for the goal. She spun around and flicked into the net with ease. The Bobcats win the game 3-0.
And for the top play, might be on the pitch for this one, but Sivert Ristalsnes puts his defender on skates and blasts a rocket into the net. Stop, drop, and goal for the first year from Norway. Can you believe that was his first career goal? It's absolutely ridiculous for that to be the first time he's ever scored in a college game. That's unfortunately all the time we have this week on Sports Paws. Make sure to follow Q30 Television and Q30 Sports on social media to stay up to date.
To all the producers and people working hard behind the scenes to make this show happen, for Nick Boyd, I'm Christine Semenes. Good night, Bobcats.